Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. So I have a question today from Irene. Irene says, I'm having weird physical symptoms of anxiety, like body swelling and itches, burning on my body and tongue, dizziness and off balance, difficulty swallowing, neck and jaw stiffness, shaking and shivering all day. She says, I also have muscle aches, weakness, and numbness. I'm rushed to the hospital all the time, but the tests are all negative, and I feel like something is seriously not okay with my health. I've had sessions with therapists and trying self help techniques, but to no avail. I can be fine for a moment, then all of a sudden my whole system changes, and I'm so scared of losing control. Please, how can I manage my situation? I really want to feel normal again. So I followed up with Irene and asked her if she thought this was anxiety. And she said, um, probably because all of the medical doctors tell her it's anxiety. And she's had anxiety or felt anxiety in various forms throughout her life with phobias and all kinds of things in the past. So there is not a clear line between what's anxiety and what's a physical health issue. It's all one thing. Just like there's not a clear line between what's depression and what's a physical health issue. There's a cycle, thoughts believed feel like what our mind calls anxiety, and and when we believe thoughts over and over again, our body starts to tell us as well. It's wonderful that it works that way. It's just giving feedback, it's just biofeedback. So it can create what we would call a problem or a health issue, yes, but all of this stuff, a sudden rush of numbness or heart racing or weakness or dizziness or any of that, absolutely is just biofeedback. It can be biofeedback. It can be thought, believed, emotion, habitual stuff. And when I say thought, believed, again, I don't mean Irene just thought something and then believed it, and she's aware of all of this and now she's feeling it's old habitual stuff showing up. But it sure sounds, Irene, and I mostly take this from what you said, um, that there's a lot of anxiety here. That if there's some health issues that crop up from that would be understandable. But that calming in all of this, seeing all of this in a new way, is only going to help everything. It's only going to help you have a better sense of what's what, and to be able to be with this stuff as it arises and all of that. So when you said, um, I could be fine for a moment, and then all of a sudden my whole system changes, and I'm so scared of losing control. That really jumps out at me, and I want to speak to this in a way that might be kind of different from what you've heard in therapy and other places. But what I really hear in this, and I recognize it because it's human. This is how we see our experience. Is it feels like there is something happening to you, that you are fine, you are in control, or you're fine, and then all of a sudden, this energy, sensations, physical stuff, it's almost like it just descends upon you, or it attacks you from some other place, some other thing, who knows. And now it's on you, and you have no control, and you're trapped, and you're scared, and you are in extreme discomfort from this thing that has attached itself to you or descended upon you. Now, I'm saying it in this weird way because this is how we all experience things. This is how our mind, our brain develops, and everything gets conditioned that I'm a me and everything else is a thing out there. And so when there's an uncomfortable feeling, it's a foreign entity. Like, it's not me, it's not a me, and it should not be happening. And as long as we think I'm a me and this foreign entity is attacking me and it should not be happening, there's going to be a lot of resistance and a lot of fighting and a lot of struggle. And it goes the other way as well when it's a wanted foreign entity. So when you're a you and all of a sudden you just feel really good, and I don't know why, and I can't figure it out, it's not enjoyed in the same way. It's not just We're not just with it because it looks like this thing happened to me and it's going to probably leave, and how can I keep it, and what does it mean, and how can I recreate it. So either way, whatever the feeling is, the experience is, it looks like there's a me having an experience. And when that's an unwanted, painful experience, it will look like a major, major problem. And there will be, as you say, scrambling for control. And because we don't have control, control will never be found, ever. Sometimes our mind will trick us into thinking it has been. Sometimes we'll just feel a little better and we'll think, I did that. I controlled that and made that go away. But no, you didn't. If you have that much control, just do it every time and everything will be great. And it's not going to work that way. So there'll be discomfort. There'll be attempts at control, scrambling for control that fail almost all of the time. They fail all the time, appear to fail almost all of the time. Because it looks like this thing is happening to me. And what I want to have you sit with and play with, Irene, is that you are everything and everything is you. And all that's happening here is some fluctuation of energy and a lot of busy thinking. And I know it feels super scary. I've been there myself. I'm not dismissing this whatsoever. But if you can zoom this out a little bit and see, now we could all see it for you. Everyone listening to this who's not Irene can say, okay, here's a woman who experiences these huge waves of panic and terror and physical stuff and all of that, and it's very uncomfortable. And then because they're anxiety and panic, they do what anxiety and panic and all experience does. They wash away, and then she feels calmer, and then she thinks, what was that? There it was again. What's wrong with me? And then she goes on with her life, and then it happens again, and then it falls away again, and then maybe there's some thinking about it, and then she goes on with her life, and over and over and over. And we can see it because we're not like this with it the way that you are. Of course, we're like this with our own stuff, but not yours. So I want you to kind of notice, okay, this is like, it's like a wave crashing on the shore and then going back to the ocean. It's not a problem. It's a wave. It's a rising of stuff happening that you're experiencing, and then a falling away of stuff. But it doesn't feel that way. It feels dangerous, and then your mind starts looking for control, which hypes up all the energy and fear, and then it feels like it's a thing that's happening to you. So this is the deepest, most direct, simple way I can see to help you begin to have a very different experience of this. That it is just allowed to be there. I mean, it's going to anyway. You don't have control over it. We don't have control over anything that arises. It's going to show up, but it is not as it appears. And Irene, I know you know this. We can get really spooked by our experience, and yet we can still know, yeah, she's right. It always comes up, throws a big temper tantrum, and then moves away. Always. It always has. And again, that doesn't mean you're not terrified and rushing to the hospital and all of that. But if you can keep backing up and seeing this as something that rises and falls, rises and falls. While it's risen, you'll do whatever makes sense to do. It will still fall. That makes room for this to be totally, totally different. Still happen, perhaps, as long as it wants and needs to happen, but feel totally, totally different. So I hope something in that is able to be heard and is helpful. Thank you so much for sending the question. Again, I've been there. I really feel for you. I know it's terrifying, and it's not as it appears. It feels unsafe and terrifying and like control is needed, and it is totally safe, and it is totally self-correcting, and it comes and goes on its own, and there is no control. So thank you, Irene. Thanks everyone for listening. If you guys have questions about anything at all, whether it's habits, dealing with emotion, anxiety, depression, relationship stuff, work stuff, whatever it is, I come at all of that from the same direction, and it can be so helpful to hear your thing, what looks like your thing, spoken about in this way. So send your questions to askamy at thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I'll be back here next Monday speaking to them. Have a great week, everyone.